a lot of young ministers and pastors who come from Africa to US, they usually typically do that. They have their ministry on the weekends, and because ministry doesn't quite pay you well, it's not a paying thing, it's really a service to God. They end up having a regular career. So you find a nurse whose wife is a nurse, the pastor, the husband is maybe a truck driver or something, or an engineer, and he has a church on weekends.
Is this just in the States where ministry does not pay well? Because I'm not so sure if that's the case in the African bloc.
It does pay well, remember? It does pay well if you go full-time and go to the highest level. Like if you go pastor full-time and you get the grace of God to get a good big church with 5,000 members. In America, you're a millionaire. If you're going to be a bishop with 5-6 churches, you are a multi-millionaire in Africa, in America, anywhere. But for who wants to pursue both, it doesn't go quite well, because you can't pursue a full-time church, big old congregation, and still go to work on Monday. It's impossible.
Allow me to reconcile this.
Yes.
I'm getting a bit conflicted.
Please, I would love to clear.
Yes, also as a minister.
Yes.
When you tell me that ministry does not really pay well, especially as you was giving the example of a pastor, a preacher.
Yes.
I am thinking in my head that this is supposed to be about service and bringing folks and people to Christ.
Thank you.
What does this have to do with getting the 5 million, multi-million preacher?
Thank you.
What
That's a good
this?
question.
Yeah.
No matter how much your calling is, or how deep it is, you still have a home and a car to drive.
Okay.
You still have bills every day. And so you may try to live in cloud nine as great Mr. Bishop, so on. When you get out of that pulpit, the bills are waiting for you. You have a home, probably a mortgage that's $3,000. You have a car, that payment is about $500. You have all these other bills that are $3,000. So you have the bills. So if you are a pastor, you don't come in wanting to make money, but you come in on to serve God. And the Bible says that the laborer is worth of his meat.
Please repeat that again.
The laborer is worth of his meat.
And actually, every laborer is deserving of pay.
Exactly.
And pay commensurate to what you do.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so this is like an old farmer who has sheep and goats. Watches over the sheep and the goats, make sure they're safe, feeds them right. At the end of the day, he's not going to leave his sheep and goat and go kill a lion or a zebra for food. He will feed off of his flock, but with wisdom. He knows that I can't kill the newborn babies because they need to mature, grow, and give birth. So a pastor needs an income to sustain his physical dimension of a human being, and then he needs God to feed his spiritual dimension, because he's a physical man with a spiritual existence. He has both of them. And so a pastor has to have an income either from his church to pay all his bills. So what most pastors do, smaller churches, they have like a set amount they give them every week to pay their bills. Like Kenyan pastors in America, they have a set amount which pays their bills. Once you become a big mega church, it becomes like really it's your ministry. And so it's how much you can make. Some of them, most of them have book deals, they have recording deals, they have media, video, and
actually,
so
most of them are authors.
They end up becoming authors. So a lot of those, they don't even need a paycheck. The staff, the business empire they create, like TD Jakes, for example, I don't think that man takes a paycheck. He doesn't need a paycheck.